Welcome to another gorgeous day on planet Earth, no matter where you are today, and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where inspiring, intriguing, unique individuals come to talk love and life and how it got them here today. But today it's about me, actually. Today is all about Danny Rocco. And with me to explain what all of that means is my good friend Lee. Lee, how are you today?
Good morning. I'm good.
And tell the world a little bit about who Lee is and why would you have any knowledge? This will give people some insight of why you have knowledge and can talk so educated on what goes on inside my brain.
I've started a company in 2000 called Cereset. It had other names back then, but and it deals with the brain to help itself balance. I was assaulted in 92. I spent 8 years with post-traumatic stress and mild traumatic brain injury. And Cereset was the way that I founded to help myself out of that deep, deep hole, that stuckness, if you will.
Yeah.
Medicine didn't help. Psychotherapy was a joke, on and on and on. I went through every modality you can imagine, $250,000 in 8 years. And so when I started looking at my brain, I found out that it was very different on days when I was really, really compromised, left and right hemispheres. It was less different, less asymmetrical, that, on days I wasn't as compromised. And I thought, well, should be a simple engineering problem. That's what it was. Let's get these boogers balanced, Let's get them firing so that they're symmetrical. So that's what I set out to do. That's what that's what I've done. We now have 34 Cereset offices across the U.S. and a few in Europe. We have 150,000 clients. I work with the military now on a clinical trial for mild traumatic brain injury as a principal investigator for the Department of Defense. We work with a medical school we completed 9 now, clinical trials. The last ones being for caregivers, for people who are spouses who are compromised in whatever way, usually Alzheimer's, dementia. We work with law enforcement. They worked with law enforcement for stressors, and then they did a sleep study. So those 3 are just published now.
All right, guys. So you see why Lee is here. And I love, so you actually, because same thing, when I had my car accident, my life changed. I changed. And everything you said was exactly the way it is. Medicine, unless I was high on these those opiates and these nerve blocks and things, and you can't live like that. I always say my kids loved it because I was like, yeah, whatever, do whatever you want, but you can't sustain that kind of life. And all these other treatments, they were just a joke. None of them either knew or they just didn't work. And so I've been on this journey. So when I met you, it was not, the first intention was not that I was going to get a treatment. It was just somebody introduced me to you as really to be on my show. And then I was like, hey, now, I think God put you in my path for a reason more purposeful than this show. And so I decided to do a treatment. And really, when I walked in there was a couple things. One, I was a little fearful because of the unknown, not fearful enough that was going to stop me or cause me to stay awake or anything. But I was just like, am I going to change? What's going to happen? It was just that unknown of it. But my biggest things was sleep. I do not sleep, or I did not sleep. I would be up wide awake. It's the worst feeling when you are only getting an hour a night. Right?
I know.
Oh, it's terrible. So there was that. And then the feeling of control. Like I'm very emotionally intelligent. I understand, but I was always like, I didn't realize it until it was gone that I lived in this this kind of state all the time.
Arousal, close to the edge.
Yeah, I'm passionate and I love hard. And so I never saw it as a negative thing, but I always lived here in this area of excitement. And so I felt took a lot of control on my side to not go crazy off of one way or the other. Right.
Yeah.
So this was for me personally. When we went through the list and we went through all these questions, I think those were the two things that I was like, if I could sleep and be at a calm level and still have my passion and my desires and my energy, I think that I might be a better person to be around. So that is what I went into, why I went there. And I was there a week and I did my treatments. And I have to tell you, I have never slept so much and craved meat so much in my life.
Sorry.
That's okay. So that is my experience in a very nutshell and why I went to begin with.
Well, the we would have seen you. We saw you as a client or potential client, and saw you more like a force of nature, and so you're in some ways kind of a waterfall, right? You could drink from it, but you couldn't really get under it. It would crush you. So you had a lot going on. Now, the truth is that is because you were over aroused, but what most people think about that or they make up stories around it like you did. It's good to be passionate and I love hard or I play hard or whatever, right?
Right.
Well, the truth is you can love harder and play harder if you're relaxed in between, because you don't burn the candle on quote unquote both ends. And by the way, the kind of aging you experience is probably 10 times as fast when you're over aroused.
Oh, like that goes against everything I try to do.
So you want to, slow that down and then add that peacefulness of life, right? I mean, it's very simple. And so, we did that, and we do that by looking at the brain. And so, of course, we looked at your brain.
Yes.
And so to give our listeners some idea, this is a brain pattern here. And this is the left, whoops.
There we go.
This is the,
it's all,
this is the left side. Let's see if I can get this right.
I think it's like mirrored, but so everybody gets it sort of.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is the right side, and this is the left side of the brain. And so these are the bottom frequencies down here, and these are the top frequencies up here. And you see this brain is one which is very calm. So each of these frequencies is close to the middle. And in other words, its amplitude isn't that great. It's very calm, and it's very well balanced, left and right hemispheres, right? Very well balanced, left and right.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of normal. Now, so Danny comes in, and Danny shows us a little different pattern here. Danny shows us a pattern of this being the left, this being the left here, and this being the right over here. Whoops.
There we go.
Get this right, can I? So Danny shows us this pattern, and you see that the frequencies up and down are more like a block, right? That's called over arousal. So no matter if we go on this side or this side, either side we go on, she is very, very hyper aroused. So she's running like you would run a car setting at a stoplight, and your RPMs would be about 5,000-6,000. She's, so she doesn't stop that easily.
Right.
And in fact, there's some danger in stopping for her, because if she in fact, does stop, there's an internal danger that things aren't going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason why she's a go-go, right?
Yeah.
She's so wrapped up. So you were there for 5 days. You had one session a day, about an hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes each day, right?
Yep, correct.
And then you started what?
I became well, besides sleeping a lot, and craving meat. Those are my two. I became very chill. I told you clear. I was like, I feel so clear. So I guess that is what balanced is.
So there's Danny Clear. And you see, I'm not trying to tell you what it is. I'm showing you what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm measuring it. We're engineers. We're technology folk. We're not going to say simply, how do you feel? That's important, yes. But we know how you feel. This girl's got it going on.
Yeah.
Right? And this girl doesn't. So we're going to give her another 10 years of youth and a heck of a lot more capability, potential for discernment, cognitive ability, and ability to listen and process and do it in real time. And that's what we do. Now, sometimes this means that it's people who lack sleep, like the insomnia study. Sometimes it means that it's people who have headaches and who have depression or who have anxiety or who have relationship issues and can't seem to, connect with others very readily. There's all those things, and all of them are in some kind of distorted brain pattern. Isn't that amazing? So you straighten out that distorted brain pattern, and guess what? Those things are gone. We don't deal with them. We don't talk about depression with you. We don't talk about sleep with you, right? We didn't give you sleep hygiene. We didn't do any of that.
No.
Ours is not that world. This 3-pound mass between these ears drives everything below. All the things I think, all the things I feel, experience, everything this 3-pound mass is driving. So it's hugely important for us. It's highest priority. It's the top dog organ of all the organs we have.
Yeah.
Including even what we want. Because sometimes we can't want healthy things when our brain is imbalanced. Because the unhealthy things we want are those things which help the brain to balance. Okay, if I've had a bang on the left side of my head and I'm processing and I'm very slow doing that, cocaine may feel really good.
Right.
And so I start using that, and then I get into a problem easily. I don't, but my brain gets me into a problem. And then when I balance it, guess what? I don't have the problem.
Right.
It's not like I'm going through a program. It's not like it's gone. The same thing could be with alcohol. The same thing could be with a number of things. Certainly the same things with relational kinds of aspects of life. But most importantly, when you get to the bottom of the barrel, the thing that Danny has now that she didn't have before is she's tripled, quadrupled, or more her potential. So now she has to be more discerning and choose wisely, because she's got a lot more to give. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. There is, as I'm listening, and we've talked before, and now, weeks have gone by. It's been about almost 2 weeks. Is that, it was my brother used to tell me, you don't like to sit. You're scared to sit within yourself. And I'm like, I can sit within myself. No, I couldn't. I would start to get depressed. Like, put me alone alone where I have nothing going on, and I could feel the depression start to overcome me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get up. I'm going to go lay in bed, and because I was either on or really off, and not a good way. And now I'm like, I can be alone. It's like, it feels almost like just laying, if you like, as a child, when you would lay in the field and you could just stare up at the stars or the sky, and you were just so happy just to be doing that. That's what it's like to be alone with Danny now, instead of just crying and doubting and, shame and all these things that would go through me if I had to sit within myself. It's very beautiful, and it's so subtle that I didn't realize how I lived until I don't live that way.
No, exactly.
Anymore. Because if you ask me, I'm like, I'm happy, I'm fine, I have a good life. But what did you say? I was like a freight train, like a very nice freight train. You said it very
I had a whole bunch of sessions, back when I started, because it took a lot more. But I started sleeping finally, and I kind of came out. I was with my kids, and I said, well, I'm sleeping now. I feel a lot better. I said, but I don't really know that I've changed any. And they went, oh, Dad, oh my God. They said, when you came to visit, at school, when we were in college, at Christmas, we set up a schedule because we could only stand to be with you about an hour each. So then one left for an hour or two, and then came back, and the other left for about an hour or two. And
yeah, I do.
I said, really? Truthfully? And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even me, and I didn't even know it.
No.
It was my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I look at, when you say discernment, and, things are very, very clear. And the discernment comes in where what I valued or wanted is not the same as what I value and want now. It's not like I'm a drastic person, but I think that it was some unhealthy habits that I had developed, which had created this value and this want that I wanted. And now I was like, I don't really need that, nor do I actually really want that.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like I woke up one day and I'm this different person. I'm the same person as I've been. I'm still loving, I'm still passionate, but I'm running myself, and I can see the outcome of things much clearer now.
Yeah. Thank you for your courage to allow us to bring this to your audience and to be of help to you. It's what we live for. Our purpose in life is to help people. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're trying to do all over.
And we don't know what we don't know. We just don't do it. And it takes a little bit of an adventurous, or it takes maybe someone going through it to be like, okay, that's their outcome. I want to try this outcome, because we get accepted. We become acceptable living in the state that we're in. It's what we know. It's safe. Everybody around us seems to be functioning fine with us like this. But being stuck or feeling this swing of emotions or this questioning in life, there's something greater than that. We don't have to accept that as a reality. It does not have to be that way. And sometimes you got to search and search and search till you find what works for you, and be open to it, and let God place it in your path and say like, okay.
So a lot of your audience is probably saying, I'll have what she's having.
Yeah, you just got to be like, okay, I'm willing to do it. And I question so much why. And what do you think? Why is it that we aren't, as a whole, like I'm generalizing here, not willing to say, I'm worth that, or this isn't right? There's got to be something else out there. Why do you think that is?
If I cut my hand, the brain sees that, and it sends, it activates immunity to protect from disease. It starts clotting. It does a whole bunch of things to that. But when my brain itself gets off, it doesn't see that. It's just stuck, but it doesn't see it. And so what we've done is we've brought the mirror to show it that, hey, boys and girls up there, this is what you're looking like. Right? And hey, boys and girls up there, this is what you could be looking like.
Right.
And then when it changes, it goes, oh.
Wow. How silly not to allow it to happen. So that is, I'm so glad you came on and talked about this, about me, because it is a lot of times we don't want to be the first to do something, but it's okay to be the first. It's okay to go out there and try it, because I did say when I was going through that fear and things like this, and people were like, well, if you're scared of it, don't do it. What if the outcome's worse? And I said, the outcome cannot be worse than where I already am,
And that, unfortunately, that's what we faced a lot. We faced that people don't have any other alternative to something that's very uncomfortable. But the truth is, if they think about it, we have 150,000 plus clients, 8 clinical trials.
Yeah.
Really?
Proof is kind of in the pudding.
Seriously? We've had no adverse effects because we're not doing anything to the person. We're only helping the brain help itself.
Right.
It's a whole different perspective.
I love that visual. Like I always say, like, if it can't see itself, it can't fix itself, right? It can't balance itself. So just allowing it to see itself and then be like, oh my gosh, I have this big like black mark on my face I've been walking around with all day. Why didn't anybody tell me? All I have to do is rub it off and it'll be fine.
They thought you were trying to wear a Halloween mask. That's all.
Right? And so I'm very appreciative. I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so glad that you're in my life. I'm so glad I can share this with so many people. I talk about it all the time to individuals, and you're all over the country. That's what I love. I happen to go to Scottsdale because I have family there. I have friends there. Plus I want to see you. So it works out for me, but you don't have to. It's
on the website, there's a location map and it shows where the offices are. Well, but thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It was wonderful to see that movement, and I can't wait to see what kinds of grand and glorious things are going to manifest from your life on the planet in the next year because of what you've done.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's like off to a good start. I love it. So thank you for giving that to me. And to everybody else out there that is watching, remember as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, we will see you. Take care. Bye-bye.
How are the people? Bye-bye.